Ladies and gentlemen, get in here for a special Sunday night show with Publicly Buzzed. I've got Lauren Conlin back here. We're going to be going over this Blake Lively amended lawsuit on Justin Baldoni. We got a lot of stuff to discuss. Thanks for coming in here. Hit the like, share it out on the old X machine, and I appreciate it. Let's go.
Let's rock.
Yo, everybody. Welcome in here. I forgot to change the Murder Church background. Hold on. Boom. Boom. I'm in space now. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. We're going to have a good show here tonight. I've been going on Twitter. I've been kind of going crazy, especially after the amended lawsuit came out from Blake Lively. Before that, I was just kind of touching in on it and, seeing a lot of the gossip going on. But yeah, I'm pretty fully in. We've got a lot of stuff to discuss. Like I said before, if you guys have not hit the like, please do so. Appreciate everyone for coming in. And yeah, without further ado, I got a special guest here. What's up, Lauren?
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, thanks for coming in. I'm freaking excited, man. Like, this is a different show for me, but at the same time, it's very fucking intriguing. Like, I think I know about all of it, like all the little gossipy bullshit.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I can't help but think that after all is said and done, at least 2 careers out of 3 are going to be ruined. That's my opinion. Everybody knows I like to say that in my opinion, but
dude, I think you're right. I think Ryan Reynolds is screwed also, dude.
Yeah. And wait, by the way, can I just say one thing, Steve? Last time I got off your live stream, I think it was maybe 3 weeks ago. It was this same time, and I got out, and my daughter had puked everywhere.
Oh my God.
That was waiting for me. So I'm like really hoping and praying that everybody's bodily fluids stay contained tonight, because I was like, oh, okay.
I do not want that to happen this time. Yeah, oh my God.
Me neither.
That's a crazy thing to walk out from a show. You're like, oh, that was a good show. Oh my God. You know what? Actually, thinking of that, I've had something similar happen, except it was a cat that was puking.
Yeah, no, this was human, and I almost gagged myself. So
oh my God. It is different though, dude. No, it's completely different. Like a puke from a cat and puke from no, like it's that would mess with me. And I have the gag thing where like instantly I'm just like oh. So
no, me too. It makes me sick. I'd rather be to clean up the other thing. But anyway, I meant like change a diaper. Sorry, like change a diaper. That's what I meant. God, I don't even. We should talk about Blake and Ryan. And
yes, dude, this is so. Have you been in since the very beginning? Like just since this. I really got in after he dropped the website and the video kind of came out. And I was like, oh, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people in your chat, they might have followed some of my coverage as well. And if they did, they'll know that I have gone. I mean, I am so all about changing my mind after seeing new evidence, and I'm never, stuck in my ways.
Same.
I think so. I think a lot of people who might have followed me with my coverage will know that at first when Blake dropped her lawsuit, I was like, oh my gosh, I knew it. This guy is scum.
Oh shit.
I can't believe this. And then slowly but surely, when he started dropping his pieces of evidence and I started putting the story together, you have to know the whole story, I think, to get, or I guess to come to a certain conclusion and to really understand what went on behind closed doors, I think. So I've changed my mind. I was Team Blake, and now I'm like, I'm not about that Blake Lively life, Ryan Reynolds. But I don't, I'm not saying anyway, I don't want to name call. But
the only person I really knew to begin with out of this was Ryan Reynolds. Just I didn't know anything about Blake Lively except that she was with Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. That's literally it. I knew, I did know that she was in the movie The Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds, so I did know of her, but I didn't know who Justin Baldoni was, period. I didn't know about him at all, so I kind of came into it, again after this kind of started. I saw all the chatter, all the talk, but then once the website dropped, I was like, all right, what's going on here? And then I did watch the video, I was like, okay, I don't see anything crazy going on, like she's kind of explaining, so, and yeah.
No, And just, just for background, Justin Baldoni, he's always had Wayfarer Studios. That's its production company. He actually, they have a YouTube channel. I think they maybe have 30,000 subscribers, or last time I checked. But he's also, I feel like, my other favorite phrase, multiple things can be true. He might be a douche. I mean, he put his whole he put his whole proposal to his wife like on his YouTube channel. And
actually,
I'm sorry, yeah, I don't want to offend anybody. I
dude,
think that's corny, but some people might think it's sweet. I don't.
I did actually, and I have posted a couple of things that go the other way as well, because I have seen a few sprinkles of what I would consider weird also from him. And I've got one up here that I want to actually get to also. I'm not gonna start with that, but I've got one, and you probably even have already seen it if you've already dug into this. So, but there's one in here that is very strange. But we're gonna.
He's a male feminist, really. He rocks a man bun, and he does all the cliche things that a male feminist would do. And he has a soap background. He started on soaps.
Okay, I didn't know that.
His big.
I can see it though.
Race, I guess. Yeah, was James.
Because he's a beautiful man. Let's just be honest. He's a good-looking dude.
He's attractive. And then you've got Blake Lively, who actually comes from a family of actors and directors. Her dad, who has passed away, Ernie Lively, he was an actor. He was a director. Blake had her first role in one of his movies. I think she was 10 years old, and I believe it was called The Sandman or something like that. And she actually, her sister, Robin, her sister Robin Lively, and she has, I think, 3 other siblings. Robin Lively was huge in the 80s and in the 90s. Teen Witch, I believe.
Okay, I have seen Teen Witch.
And Robin was actually in It Ends With Us. She had a really small part, as did Justin's wife. And we'll get to that, I guess, but that's why I've kind of like whittled it down to the whole, other female actors have complaints. I mean, really, it can only be one person at this point, in my opinion. But,
yeah. And, not to jump too far ahead, but Isabella Farah, I've got a text up here where she's exchanging with Justin Baldoni, saying how she enjoyed the workspace, how she felt protected there. So it can't be her, right?
Well, and it's funny because Blake Lively cited something that Justin allegedly said to her and the other actor during their sex scene or something like that, but she never said it. Isabella Ferrer never said anything. You just have that whole text or email or text.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that Blake seemed to insert herself there and say, well, that's inappropriate, when none of the actors said anything.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of, there's so many different opinions rolling around about how she kind of maybe, was manipulating Isabella, and she's Isabella being a new actress coming into the scene. And then also, again, Blake Lively is in a powerful position in Hollywood, essentially, and being married to Ryan Reynolds, who again has a lot of power. And not to jump all over the place again, because we are going to start out with something specific, but just to go to the SNL 50 thing for a second that just happened. When that happened, I immediately tweeted, I was like, this shows exactly how much fucking power these two have. Like, that was the most watched thing at that point in time. Huge media extravaganza, stars in the skits, stars in the audience, huge. And for him to be able to leverage his position to get even 10 seconds to make that joke was crazy to me. And they clearly couldn't read the room, because that backfired horribly.
And legally, I think that there is some chatter that, I know that Justin's lawyer had said something that I really agreed with. He said, I don't know anybody whose wife was viciously sexually harassed that would really joke about it. Yeah, but I don't know how far that would go in court, right? I mean, you can argue, so many things about that little clip and that little instance. But Steve, I think what's really amazing is if you capture the faces of the people around Ryan Reynolds.
Kevin Costner's face.
Blake Lively's face.
Hers too.
When he said that, I thought she looked alarmed. I thought she looked very stressed. But
that would be even crazier if he didn't tell her that was going to happen, right? I mean, holy shit. Like, but some of the...
That was his idea of what to say. SNL writers apparently had something else planned, and he said, no, I want to say this.
Dude, yes. Which is, again, shows the power of these motherfuckers. But yeah, actually, hold on. I've got this up, and we can just take a look at Kevin Costner's disgusted face. Hold on. Real quick, I need to actually get you over here. Hold on. Boom. Forgot to get you in here. But yeah, look at him. Yeah. He's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
I love it. I literally love it. And then you go to Blake, because she is like, to me, she's not amused. She's just like, what is about to happen?
Yeah, I don't. That's kind of cut right there. She's right here though. But dude,
So
he
it
was.
is
I like the memes that were basically saying like Kevin Costner was all of us in this situation. Like he was like just like trying to get a look at her, and he was kind of disgusted at Ryan, or not kind of. I was majorly disgusted at Ryan, but
Yeah. I mean,
dude.
and there's a lot. If you hear some of the backstory on Ryan Reynolds, and I think that it sounds crazy, but there is a clip of Martha Stewart, and she puts it really well, Steve. Martha Stewart actually said something about Ryan because Ryan was her next door neighbor at one point, and she
Whoa.
was like, I know that he seems funny, but he's not funny in real life. He's very serious. He's not a funny
Whoa.
guy. She alluded to the fact that he wasn't the nicest. And it was during some kind of game show where she had to like vote 3 different celebrities on or off. And guys, I'm probably not getting that part right, but the whole gist of it is she said, I'm just going to bump Ryan Reynolds. And he was her neighbor, literally. And she said, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this because I'm going to see him. So I think that kind of said a lot. And Ryan Reynolds also has a reputation of being controlling. He was very controlling when he was married to Scarlett Johansson. And look, if you're going to be controlling, you probably shouldn't date another actress who has these on-screen love scenes.
For real. Like you're going to get jealous and
beautiful men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scenes, so.
To that point, to go just down, I had this in my notes here, and I didn't know if I was even going to get to it, but this is a perfect segue. Have you seen the quote? And I don't have the exact quote, but have you seen what T.J. Miller said, the comedian that was in the first Deadpool? Dude, I think
he said that years ago. He said it
dude,
years ago. Which
that's
is amazing.
pretty fucking telling of this guy. And he's basically saying that when Ryan Reynolds was in Deadpool character on the set, he would essentially harass him and make him feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
Like that sounds. That's the exact MO of what we're seeing currently, and people are kind of pulling out the clips from the last Deadpool with Nice Pool. That stuff is crazy, dude.
No, it
is,
and it's funny because I've actually interviewed, and I have to get the transcript, and I'll do that this week. I've interviewed TJ and I've interviewed Jenny Slate, and I want to go back and I want to see what I asked them, if there's any type of I don't. And again, this is like a few years ago, so maybe 2 years ago. But I want to pull out these little gems that people seem to do sometimes when these things happen. They have resurfaced interviews that kind of speak to their character a bit. So I'm going to try to do that this week.
Yeah. So, and all these things are just kind of piling up. But yeah, what we were just talking about here, what we're going to start with here tonight is, this is page 31 of the amended lawsuit. And this is talking about the footage that, that now we have the entire scene for, that Justin Baldoni said, hey, here it is, judge for yourself. So I want to show this first, actually what was said in here. Let me blow this up so we can read it. The footage of the scene shows Miss Lively to be trapped, having to appear as though her character was happy and in love while the cameras were rolling. Miss Lively did not want to film additional takes on the scene, but continued to participate to be a team player and support the production in real time while simultaneously expressing and holding physical boundaries against Mr. Baldoni's advances. Miss Lively even referred to Mr. Baldoni as a sociopath, and at one point during the exchange, notwithstanding Miss Lively's attempts at humor and levity, her words, actions, and body language all evidence her lack of consent. When Miss Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, "I'm not even attracted to you." So yeah, we are going to watch the video. And people in the chat, and I've been kind of asking some of the Buzz Nation here if they know about this. Some of them do, some of them don't, some of them are not fully in. And I think this will be perfect. So you can watch this and judge with us yourself here. I'm
going to try to get a body language expert on this week to go over this video. Yeah, I think that's really important for a couple different reasons here. But
let me do this. Boom, boom. I just need to get your name over here. It's bothering me.
Okay.
I should have done this beforehand. I know it's goofy, but boom, there you go.
No, I love it. I love the
All right. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. After this, I for sure want to show you what I think is a very weird thing from Justin Baldoni.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
It would be weird from anyone, but it is very strange.
Too close to subject.
So, also, what a I mean, the release of the website showing basically everything in chronological order, from the text, from everything going in line. You kind of see how Blake Lively is literally changing as this goes. Everything is fucking cool. You can get the vibe that she is trying to make major changes, wants to, for lack of a better word, take over the film. Yeah. It all kind of adds up.
Victor 40, it's never meant to be comedy.
And I felt it there.
Yeah.
And this is raw footage. This is...
I know.
Ready, everyone?
How did she not think she'd have that?
Talk to you at the bar. Something's on the screen.
And can you give us a couple cues of like this score? Just so everyone else around us is having a moment.
But is it as rambunctious as it was earlier on?
No, it's never going to be because we're in slow-mo. But just they're watching, people are watching games. We see some, just some hands and things like that. Yeah, thank you.
Ready, and
again, this is to get extra footage. These two characters that are in love in the movie or sharing a moment, or, it's an embracing dance. So take all that into context while this long awkwardness is happening. It's for extra footage in the film. This, you know what I mean? Like,
it's B-roll.
Yeah, it's B-roll.
And playback. Background. Camera.
Cringy.
This is going to be very cringy.
Feel better when it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Score! Go back to where this person
I mean, what a perfect time to sexually harass someone in the midst of all of these people while a camera is on you. Like, it's fucking kind of crazy.
I guess, am I seeing a little bit of hesitancy toward, I can't figure out if that's her character. I saw the movie. I mean, I
haven't seen the movie. I need to actually watch the film.
That they were in love, but I know that she was kind of,
because it's
the thing where, you're like, I don't want to do this. I do want to do this. So, I mean, I'm trying to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah. That's a good point. And real quick, just to throw this out there for anybody that doesn't know, and I'm sure most people do, this is a major part of the conflict here, is the intimacy coordinator.
Right.
How in his proof and on his website, you can see him multiple times trying to get her in touch with this intimacy coordinator to go over what's proper, I guess. This is something I honestly didn't even know was a thing. I mean, it makes sense. I don't know if I thought they just went in and started going at it or what, but this makes total sense. You know what I mean? Like you would want to be protected as a professional in this environment. So, and
she even refers to the intimacy coordinator in an interview while promoting the film.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's a major part that there's multiple times where she's like, basically like, no, I think we're good. And now she's kind of backtracking and saying, at least in the amended lawsuit, that, it would have, when we get to the scene, that's when I would need to talk to her. Right.
Yeah.
And then of course she had, before there was like the big break after, I guess, the writer's strike. And when she came back, they had the, 17 points that she had to be done before she would return to the production. And then one of those was to get an intimacy coordinator in there. And they're like, what? They
literally had no choice but to sign that, or else she was going to walk. And you know how much money they walk?
And she has
to deceive, but their hands were tied in so many different ways. And if she were to walk, it would be almost like a Rust situation, right?
Exactly.
The movie Rust, but minus a horrific death. But I mean, that is a different story, but the money lost there is pretty much why Alec Baldwin is suing. So again, if they wouldn't have signed this, I mean, they would have been probably out of business, I would assume.
And they've been working on this. This is, from everything I could read, Justin Baldoni's freaking baby since 2019 after wanting to adapt it from the book. So,
You're correct.
And again, for anybody that doesn't, that hasn't looked at his website, I would recommend that because it's very thorough. Like it's a long ass read, but it's worth it if you really are jumping in here. But no, I'm with you. I can change my mind. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know Justin Baldoni for a minute. You know what I mean? I mean, he's just a guy.
I don't know if I found out, but yeah, I go whatever. I see something.
Watch out! Watch out!
Let's go again.
You can butt in.
Yeah.
Like, it's so casual.
I know.
Ryan, cross again where you were.
Leaning in. I just noticed that.
Huh?
Did you feel that? She's leaning in. He's kissing her neck, but she's leaning in.
And she
She's not
popped her
leaning
hair
away.
back. Like, she was, like, ready for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Again, they're literally at work right now. This is their job. Like, there's nothing sexual about this at all.
I don't. Yeah. So far, I'm still like. I always wonder if I'll
we
pick
do
up
a
something
score?
new.
What was it?
I said I always wonder if I'll pick up something new by watching this, and so far I haven't.
Yeah,
so.
like the weirdest thing that I've seen so far, and again, it was the kiss on the forehead. Felt a little bit maybe that was, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know.
And her
Do a
saying he
score?
said something about kissing, and she's like, "No, we're still talking." Okay, well, he wasn't trying to make out with her or anything. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Scores? While we're great.
And also, just I keep pausing here, but just to take into context, this is deep into the filmmaking process already. So all of these issues that you can read about on the website that his team put out,
Yeah.
you can prepare for this. So you can already imagine because he really never stopped being professional as hell, trying to just keep it on track. Like, he bent over backwards for him and Reynolds. So I can imagine at this point the animosity that they are feeling because because she was just a bitch and so often.
Well, and something I just want to add quickly is just because I do have a background in this as well. I did this in college, and I did some film work and acting work. And when a director breaks character like he just did, and her arms are on him and he's talking to somebody, you don't know how long that's going to go on for. Me personally, if I'm not into my my partner, my scene partner, whoever it is, I'm going to take my hands off them for that minute.
Yeah.
However long it's going to be that they talk to the director, they talk to whoever, I'm going to just remove myself from them because I don't really want to touch them any longer than I have to, truthfully. And she did not. She didn't know how long that exchange was going to go, that break character exchange, and she stayed in place.
It's a great point.
And again,
yeah.
You don't have to.
Because again, this is a job. Yeah, there's nothing. We're not on a date. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
you can remove your hands and take a break, but.
We have no issue talking most of the time. We'll never know in slow motion. You're never gonna find out.
And they win!
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring. You just stare.
literally we've done it for like 5 minutes. it's like I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally look at each other and like
When I
time
found a sociopath.
and like time stops.
Yeah.
But like that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
And imagine how it is like trying to break this awkwardness. Like, oh, you guys have to go and get this B-roll footage, and you have to be incredibly intimate with each other for like 10 minutes. So just keep doing it, keep going. So that's where all this conversation. This is natural as hell. It feels like.
And
You know what I
she
mean?
was so joking, calling him a sociopath, and they put that in the lawsuit.
Dude.
Come on.
Dude,
Come
that's
on.
insane. There's a lot of those little things that are like so stretching.
Not
Like,
that good of an actress, okay?
Bro.
I'm sorry, Steve. She's not.
yeah. I'm gonna have to watch this. Might be a Feral Friday. But, well, it might be a little too new. But we're gonna watch this. Like,
And they score again.
No. It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then let's just do one almost like super close.
Yeah.
Can you guys frame up on the Sebastian on you? Yeah. We'll just do like our lips are right next to each other.
But I think you should start talking.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Still rolling.
Don't give it to them. They want it. Don't give it to
They
them.
score.
Just
Right.
keep restraint.
Yeah.
Score.
Just do a little bit of restraint.
Right, come
I
on
mean,
back.
she's directing this.
I know.
And the couple by the bar walk towards us, cross. What's that? No, your name, sorry. Ponytail lady?
And then
I like how every person in the room is being directed.
I mean, she is directing him. This is so
Dude,
funny.
totally,
There's
yeah.
I don't see one ounce so far of her
Let's
being
tease it.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, like
She's
let
not that good of an actress.
they want it, but let's not give it to them. Like what? And then, oh, come on.
Yep.
Okay, Dixie.
And, and my nose is so big.
yes, I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then
Cut.
just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny Slate too. Our noses big.
Let's go.
So if you're like, oh, we missed some stuff.
Yeah.
They know each other better than that. She's not marrying someone she doesn't know with lots of red flags. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay, there's stuff that we don't know.
All of it.
Yeah. It feels.
Take one step further, Catherine, please. Great, thank you.
Let's start on action. Let's just do everyone celebrate it. There's a game going on. On action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People passing.
On action, it'll just be celebration. They've just scored. Ready and lay back.
Get your head in
Lay back.
I'll take it off. Like I'll try to kiss you and then
Back
take it off.
around. Great.
So how you want that?
Yeah, you know, like my hands. Who got this sticker? Good.
Is this
Hey, no, there's no sticker.
And they score! They score!
Yep.
This person's trying to get in that shot.
I know.
They score another.
I'm not getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not bad. It's my body makeup.
And they win! They won!
All right, cut. We got plenty.
Yes.
Slow motion. It's gonna be a 17-minute reel.
Okay, she did kind of walk away pretty quickly. I will give her that. She was kind of like, okay, and I'm done. But
The creepiest things he did was the kiss on the forehead and the very end saying that she smells good.
But it wasn't, I mean, I think they said something in the lawsuit, and maybe I'm mistaken, but something like, it smells so good. And I kind of took it that way, where he was kind of lingering when I first read it before I saw this video. And that's why I think I was like, I didn't see what was so horrible.
Yeah.
The only thing I truly thought was inappropriate, honestly, was him talking about Jenny Slate's nose. I thought that was.
That's what we
a little
hired Jenny
inappropriate.
Slate. Yeah, that does sound terrible. Yeah.
Yeah,
But even the even just going for the kiss on the forehead, or even just mentioning the smell, or even the nose thing, like that's not like so egregious that it's like some kind of kind of sexual harassment situation to me. Like,
and the thing is, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, okay, I know what makes Blake Lively uncomfortable and what doesn't. I just don't. I mean, I'm just confused, because it's like, if this is the basis of your sexual harassment, this scene right here, okay, please.
Yeah,
this is going to work with another leading man again, because they are going to be too nervous to lean into you, to improv with you, to do anything that would possibly make you, file a lawsuit. So I think that's questionable. The whole thing right there is questionable, if that's the harassment.
And it seems like almost essentially everything in this lawsuit is just sort of hearsay anyways. I mean, there's just kind of like her feelings. She felt like this was happening. Now, one thing actually I did, before we get to the creepy thing, I've got that up here, but there's one other thing. Hold on. Let me see. I think I had it still up here. There was one point where there was some kind of, maybe this is Jenny Slate or whoever this other person is that she's saying also suffered some sort of, here we go. And I put a tweet out. This will be interesting to see what is produced in the form of proof here. This is a single line that is taken from the above two paragraphs in the lawsuit. If Justin Baldoni took these complaints in writing, there should be a paper trail. So Mr. Baldoni acknowledged the complaints in writing at the time. So if there are complaints from someone else, we should be able to see that eventually, I would say, in the trial. Or there should be at least a paper trail for that.
I mean, and I don't know if you saw the Hollywood Reporter. They are getting a lot of flack because they have reported that it was Jenny Slate who was the other person, the other female cast member that complained, even though nobody has actually seen this complaint or seen this report. Blake does assert that she reported it up to someone at Sony, a female actually, but basically Jenny Slate's lawsuit her complaint, her HR complaint, had nothing to do with Justin Baldoni. It had something to do with Jamie Heath, his partner. She has a toddler, and I guess she was renting an apartment in New York City. She wasn't happy with the living situation, and she had already put down like a $15,000 security deposit. And if she were to move, she would lose that. And so I guess Wayfair and Jamie Heath said, oh, don't worry, we'll reimburse you for that, we'll pay for it. But when he did this and said this, Jamie Heath, he had this discussion with her, or this exchange about the sanctity of motherhood and making sure that she was a good mother to her toddler. And I guess that was why she didn't want this apartment. It wasn't good for a toddler. And she felt very uncomfortable by him discussing the sanctity of motherhood with her. Now, the defense of Jamie Heath, and also Justin Baldoni as well, is that they speak this way, and they speak this way in particular. It's because of their religion, because their religion is something I had not heard of, but it's called, and I'm probably mispronouncing this, it's the Baha'i faith.
I've never heard of that.
Religion that was originated in Iran in the 19th century, and the Baha, I'm sorry however I'm pronouncing this, it believes in the oneness of humanity and the unity of all religions. So,
all I can think when you say that is, who let the dogs out? The Baha man, wasn't that the Baha? Who let the dogs out?
Yeah, I don't remember actually. I think that sounds familiar, but yeah, I mean, it's bizarre, and it's like, okay, well, these people aren't coming forward, these other females, because they're scared of, being attacked and retaliated against. And it's like, no, I can't speak for everybody, right? Because people on the internet can be unhinged sometimes. We all know that. But
yeah, you got a face full of that the other day.
Oh God,
in real life. But yeah,
I really did. I bring it on myself. What can I say?
Oh Lord.
But no, it's like, I don't think anybody would retaliate against Jenny Slate per se if she has this instance. I think with Blake, it's very different. Blake,
totally different than what you just explained with her. Like, that's not at all the same. So yeah, she's going to come out and be like, she had problems too. It was not at all like this. It wasn't sexual harassment, but
and her lawsuit says cast and crew, female cast and crew. I guess I just don't understand, if you had these problems, why wouldn't you come forward and support Blake Lively if in fact you believe what she's saying and you experience the same thing? I do think it's I can't figure it out here. You're not, if the truth is the truth, you should stand tall in that and stand proud.
And then to go, I've had it up here to show anyways, but Isabella Ferreira, I've got this text message from her to Justin Baldoni, yes, where she's saying, hey, just got my film developed from when we were shooting, so here's this sweet pic. I also have to say thank you so much for an incredible experience on my first film. I can't shake the feeling of it all because it truly was life-changing for me. You are such a wonderful, smart, and sincere director, and you created such a comfortable, safe space for me to feel like I could fully step into this role. I couldn't have asked for a more welcoming environment. It just keeps going with that's crazy. It can't be her.
It just goes back to Justin having to tiptoe around Blake's needs after he realized that she did want to be a much bigger part of this movie than she initially portrayed herself. She portrayed herself as just, she's coming in, she was going to be an actor. Then she's like, nope, I want to be an executive producer. And look, in film, EP, it doesn't mean that you get creative say. It really, truly, most of the time means, or in some instances, it means you put some money down and you might have, I guess, some input around the table, but nobody wants to deal with a million producers all wanting to say something and have their opinions be heard, or else, you know what I mean? That's just not the way it works. But I think with what Blake did, Justin realized and his team realized, and look, they could not afford to lose her. They literally could not afford to lose her, fiscally, but also the movie would have really been nothing without her at the time. You know what I mean? She was the headliner. She was the star. So I think he really did a good job in managing this whole thing. And I think we saw that when he put out that timeline. We really, really saw what he had to go through. The 2 a.m. voice memo where it's like, he has like an initial reaction to certain things, which might not be what Blake wanted to see. But then he kind of thinks it over, probably spoke to his team and is like, oh my gosh, I really need to make sure that she's cool. Ryan Reynolds is cool. I'm going to send this voice memo. And I think somebody on my chat pointed out that he sounded like a hostage, and it was so
that's pretty perfect. I've not heard that, and I haven't even really put that together myself. But as soon as you said that, it clicked. Yes, a lot of the way that she handles him in general, like in the way he has to respond back, he's put in a position where he has to accommodate her at all times, or again, you'll lose the film. This company's it's a huge moment for him and the company in general, and you're dealing with this actress that is just crazy. Like, she's not letting up, and only getting crazier the deeper you go, because at the beginning she was pretty chill. She was all about hanging out. She's like, yeah, let's go over this, and then it just starts to seep in the little bits of control. Oh, let's talk about how my character may say this, or even rewriting entire scenes and adding scenes. I mean, that's pretty crazy for just the lead actress to ask to do anyways.
Right. Well, it's just like, market yourself like that. Come in and say, I want to executive produce, and with that role, I also want to write. I also want to, and I go back to this with that clip that resurfaced from Forbes in 2022, that conference where she basically said that she misrepresents herself. And I'm just like, you guys, you and Ryan Reynolds are worth $380 million combined. Why don't you make your own movie? You have the resources, you have the funds. Why do you come in and try to take over other people's movies? It literally doesn't add up to me. Make your own movie. It's a
bully tactic. Like they come off as hardcore bullies through that entire situation. And still, honestly, and even to the SNL thing, the way, we've talked about this many times, and I'm pretty open about how I feel about, people that are in elite positions that weigh that power on people is some of the grossest shit out there. And that's exactly what they have the ability to do. And again, what we were talking about earlier, Ryan Reynolds just said, hey, do you care if I do this? And they're like, yeah, okay, sure. No one else would have that. No, a few, but he's in an upper echelon position to where someone like Justin Baldoni would feel, and again, I mean, we didn't even get into the Taylor Swift part of it, but like all of these big time crazy players that, and then you're just, you're Justin Baldoni, who's famous in his own right, but it's not the same. Like he's not this A-list.
Now he's
like,
famous.
Yeah.
I've barely heard of that guy before.
Dude.
And I'm really into like this stupid celebrity garbage. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Whatever. So I agree with you. He's nobody before. He really wasn't. But I think that, going back to Ryan and Blake just taking advantage and using their power. Oh my gosh, Phil, I love you.
Phil's the best.
He is the best. No, it's going back to the whole part where Justin described, going to Blake's and Ryan's New York City house, and she had these pages to show him that she rewrote, but she needed to have Taylor Swift there to say how great the pages were and how amazing they were. And he, had to kind of say after, look, I would have still enjoyed your pages even if Taylor Swift didn't tell me to.
Yeah, dude. Like he could immediately feel that power dynamic as well, and what they were doing, which was gross. Like,
yeah.
And that's honestly why Taylor Swift is getting all this current hate, because
she's going to be deposed
all the way out there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's going to be crazy. And she's trying to get away from it, but
like,
I don't think it's going to happen.
Also, like, look at that video we just watched, right? I mean, if you're Ryan Reynolds and you have to watch your wife be in a scene like that, I mean, we're watching it and we feel slightly uncomfortable. Think about Ryan Reynolds and think about him having all of these control issues. And women are women, it's sorry, I don't want to say it that way because it happens to men too, but you see all of the time these co-stars catching feelings, Angelina and Brad and him leaving Jennifer Aniston on the set of
Lively and Reynolds met on the Green Lantern, right? I mean,
exactly.
It literally happened to them. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put that on women at all. That wasn't my intention. We just have sometimes we have bigger feelings, or we show our feelings, I guess. But this is pure speculation, my opinion. I can't help but think sometimes that possibly feelings might have been caught by Blake, possibly just, some flirtation, whatever. And maybe he didn't reciprocate the way she wanted. So she would go home and possibly bitch about him to her husband. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, because she felt rejected. I'm not sure. And then it went a little too far where Ryan's like, well, do you feel this way? Did he do that? Did he do this? And then it just...
And he's amping it up. I could see that, dude, actually.
Yeah.
I really didn't even kind of think of... Because I know that he's implicated and, he's a part of this, but that angle's... He's kind of leading the way, right? Like, just to kind of play devil's advocate and kind of think about it a little bit separately. What if, he's the one that's a jealous dude that's seeing exactly how it's going, and maybe she is a little bit too happy about the scene, right? Or the production, or all of this. He's like, well, shit, I need to get in here and start wedging myself in, because he becomes a big part of it as well. I mean...
Yeah, so I have to think that Ryan Reynolds, again, based on everything that I've read about him, that people have said about him, he does seem to be the more dominant one in that relationship, truly. And I don't think that's the case for everybody's relationship. I mean, I probably am the more outspoken one with my husband and I. And so if we were doing some kind of thing at not SNL, but whatever, I would probably be the one to get up and speak, only because my husband just doesn't want to. So it's like, I don't think that it's necessarily like a male-female thing. I think that in their relationship, he is just the dominant
He's
one.
the power dynamic,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so it all just, it kind of makes sense to me when it comes down to it, that there might have been some feelings, and then she kind of took it to the next level to bash Justin, and then Ryan was like, well, wait a minute.
Maybe
I'm wrong.
Could be a perfect theory, honestly. Before we get run out of time, I do want to show you the weird one, okay? So you probably even saw this. This was my tweet. Okay, so this is super strange if true. Blake Lively says Justin Baldoni can speak to the dead, and had on several occasions spoke to Blake Lively's dad. Did you see this?
So I did see that.
Do you think she's just making this up?
No, so I didn't really notice Justin explain that away in his lawsuit. I don't understand that.
That's why I said it's weird. Like, it's like the entire, like, Mr. Baldoni engaged in other behaviors that were shocking and emotionally distressing. If that is true, that can see that being fucking very weird. For example, he claimed he could speak to the dead.
And that's the part of his religion.
Dude.
But you'll notice he did explain away other things like the pornography stuff. It was Jamie Heath's wife giving birth and
Exactly. That's silly.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, but we saw some context there. Like, this is
Well,
why
and
this,
and in the scene, she's giving birth, so I could almost see a dude being like, "Oh, hey, here's how," and like that is totally inappropriate, but that's not porn.
Dudes are tone deaf. I'm sorry, like that happens. I guess my question is, and I think that
like for them to call it porn is just silly. Come on, like that's stupid.
Totally.
Like,
but I guess my question is, did she say anything after this happened? Or was it, well, actually, no, sorry. I know what she said, because apparently this happened, and that's when she put together that whole outline of what they had to sign off on. And it was like, don't talk about your porn addictions, don't talk about your sex life, all this stuff. And they had to sign off on it. I guess I'm confused. Did they continue to do that? Or what she perceived, on that outline, did they continue to do that after they signed it? I can't really tell. And something else that I want to point out that is, okay, she drops this lawsuit in December, Steve, and the world pretty much starts crapping on Justin Baldoni. His agent drops him. I can't figure out if she thought he would stay silent and just accept all of this. But when he dropped his own evidence, okay, is when she really, and Ryan Reynolds really started getting dragged in the press, in the media, and subsequently this quote unquote harassment started. She is acting like she and Ryan and her whole world has been turned upside down because of nothing, because she dropped a lawsuit. No, that's not why. It's because Justin fought back.
Exactly.
Right? Because he wanted to protect his reputation, showed all this evidence.
He played his only card, really. I mean, was transparency. Like
we saw what we believe to be, context, and I believe it. And I don't harass her, but I'm like, wow, yeah, now I see it. So I'm kind of like, you kind of brought this on yourself in a way. Yeah,
I've never tagged her or actually went after anything. I basically look at it from from a gossipy type of point of view. I mean, because it's super interesting. And it's also super duper gross if everything that appears to be happening is happening, and they're accusing a man of sexually harassing someone and essentially trying to ruin his life. That's horrific and horrible. And that is what appears to be happening right now. Again, if we get to a trial, which I'm sure, if we get to a trial, and I'm still covering this, which I'm sure I probably will. This is incredibly interesting, but dude, my mind can be changed if they bring out some kind of evidence that shows.
Sure.
But from what I'm seeing right now, it's him showing everything, actual text, like the actual conversations, and it's her just, cherry picking a lot of the information.
Yeah, and the original smear campaign, Steve, I kind of dug into the exhibits when she amended the lawsuit, and there is a document that is the alleged smear campaign. It's called scenario planning, and they anticipated Blake coming out, after that she listed all those stipulations after that meeting. They anticipated her making some digs at him in the press. And so they were going to be ready for it. They were completely going to be ready for it. And the objective in the scenario planning, I mean, there was no objective that said burn Blake Lively. I would say the most damning thing in the scenario planning was actually saying, let's plant a story about Taylor Swift and how she kind of bullies people into getting what she wants. And she's affiliated with Blake Lively. So that's really interesting to me, because I was like, yeah, the PR people have text messages and with Justin as well. And if, they're shit talking Blake, I mean, could that be considered just personal texts among people? Yeah, they're shit talking her, but they're not saying it's much different, I think, than what Blake laid out initially.
Yeah.
It truly is. And so I don't consider that to necessarily be a smear campaign.
And to read some of the, from some of the PR folks that were basically playing damage control, I've got some of that up here as well. That was actually my favorite to read from between Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel here. And socials are really, really ramping up in his favor. She must be furious. This is from October 2024. It's actually sad because it shows you have people really want to hate on women. I know it's sad, but then don't be a cunt. She fucked herself
That's what I mean. It's
by
like,
doing the unfollow thing. So yeah, there is some stuff in here that doesn't look good necessarily from the other side. But dude, when you take all take everything into context, and the company, Wayfair and Baldoni don't have much of a card to play otherwise, right? They've got to kind of try to protect their bases as much as possible. So you're going to hire some of these outside folks to, I mean, we live in a crazy world, especially online with social media, and basically what we're seeing in real time right now, once the folks have kind of made their mind up and they start to pile on, it's pretty damning, and that's scary.
Justin and his team, they worked really hard on this movie. It's his first big movie with a big star like Blake Lively. I think they just didn't want any bad press. Truly, they didn't want anything to ruin what they did, what they worked on. And so, yeah, they were ready. And I think that he was prepared. And those text messages calling her, names and everything, I don't think that's necessarily a strategy. Again, I go back to that's just two people, or a few people talking shit, on a text thread, which we've all done. And so,
it would suck if our text all went out, in a situation. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
Exactly.
It's private. It should be private, but yeah, man, right. This is incredibly interesting, and it's got. We didn't even touch on everything. I've got, dude. Like we're just hanging out here for a minute, but I've got so many other things that just in case that we needed to go into, but we didn't even really scratch the surface of some of this stuff. So
and you're right. There is so much more, but there are a couple other just interesting tiny little tidbits, like Colleen Hoover still follows Blake Lively on Instagram, but she doesn't follow Justin Baldoni. And Colleen Hoover clearly, as we know, was in touch with Justin Baldoni. They were friends before this. And, we saw the emails in his lawsuit where she's like, you're the perfect person for this. You have to direct it. You have to make my movie. And then slowly but surely, she was like, oh, wait, do you want to play Ryle? Do you want to play this part? And so, you see the back and forth between them, and you see just the ideas rolling. And then Blake, she came in later. So it is the whole thing. Like
that is interesting to not be following him now.
Yeah,
That's
interesting. It is. Yeah. So,
and again, we're kind of looking from the outside, and I mean, I've said this a couple of times now, but the website that he put out, I would definitely recommend doing that. And, right after looking at, I guess, the amended lawsuit, and kind of judge for yourself. But yeah, dude, it's from my perspective, it looks like that they're doing some gross stuff. And
so the one thing that I'll also share, and I don't necessarily participate in the dragging of Blake Lively, old interviews where she sounds.
I've been watching a few.
Not super nice. I mean, we can't.
I've seen her being kind of rude in some of these interviews.
And we can't deny that, right? The one congrats on your little bump. That's awful. That is an awful.
I've seen a few. Yeah.
It's
the one
really
with
bad.
Did you see the one with the drink? She's drinking with that dude, and then she's drinking. I guess they're doing some kind of media thing, and it's like a dude interviewer, and then a female's interviewer, and I guess they've got a martini, and it's the way she's asking the dude to drink the martini is pretty forceful.
So those are the junkets that she did, and those are and I participated in those obviously as an interviewer, and it's 5 to 10 minutes with each outlet, and
it's hard to fully judge something like that, and it's easy to cherry pick little things.
They're very casual, and you can see her feet are up on the couch a lot. You can see also her co-star, Brandon Sklenar, I think that's how you pronounce his name, but he kind of rolls his eyes at her a few times during one interview. That was really interesting. But my friend, my friend as an adult, her name is Rosella Rago. She's this Italian influencer, but she used to be an extra on the set of Gossip Girl for 5 years.
Whoa.
She made this TikTok, and she deleted it because she felt like a horrible person because it started making the rounds, the gossip rounds. And she had actually told me this when the story first came out. And she said on the set of Gossip Girl, Blake Lively was awful. And I said, why? And she said she just wasn't nice. And she also had this thing where she wanted to be one of the guys. So she would burp and fart, I guess. And it was really strange.
That is very strange.
Yes. So Blake Lively was much younger. I don't know the truth, but I also, I spoke to my friend, and she felt bad putting that out there on TikTok. And I was like, yeah, I mean, what did you think was going to happen?
That's
like,
crazy.
We're talking about
Well,
Blake Lively, and so it was.
Since we're on this, and we're about to end it right now, but I did have one more thing up, but I haven't dug into this. I just kind of had it up here even to watch, but I just want to, I'm not going to watch it, but have you seen this one? Former assistant director Barbara Seisman from Simple
No.
Favor exposes Blake Lively, says Blake is the reason she quit being an assistant director.
Oh, no, I don't think I've seen this one.
So, like, I haven't dug into this by any means. This is one thing that I just seen today and plugged it into my, my links up here. But that sounds insane. Like,
Yeah, that, I mean.
so
it
I have seen
does.
some people talk about how she's a bit of a nightmare. So,
I mean, well, we'll see. The director of A Simple Favor, Paul Feig, he came out and said he supports her. They are not delaying the release of A Simple Favor 2. That is supposed to come out, I think, pretty soon. I believe it was at a film festival recently. But, I mean, it's confusing, I guess. I feel like Blake and Ryan saw Justin Baldoni possibly as weak. They kind of sunk their
I think you're
claws
exactly
in,
right. I
and,
think
yeah,
the
here we
Deadpool
are.
clips show that, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's how they really feel about this guy. I think in those clips, they think he's he's a feminist protecting bitch. I believe that's how they probably look at Justin Baldoni, and I think that they're sadly mistaken. And I don't think that they expected this guy to buck up on him. And again, he played maybe not his only card, but the best card of being fully transparent, at least visually to me now. And again, I'm going to be open, man. If I see some shit that I think's weird, like I have posted a few things where I'm like, this is kind of strange. So I'm not above finding out that he's some shitty dude and then saying that. You know what I mean? Because some people have already picked their teams, and I don't think they could have their minds changed. I don't like that. I don't want to be that person, but yeah, from what I've seen,
I'm with you. I think that there's been some douchey stuff about him, and I'm totally, his like vocal fry bothers me so much, and maybe that's picky, but it's like, when guys, they try to be like so sexy or something with their, I'm just like, can you stop? It's like
yeah, his whole gimmick is basically sex appeal. It feels like that's what he is.
That's not my type. I'm not necessarily into that, but by the way, I swear, if I get off this live stream and there's like,
I hope
no,
not.
I'm kidding.
Dude, I'm gonna go out. My cat's just gonna be looking at me and say, like, here we go. You're talking shit before we get on here, Lauren. This has been fucking awesome. Yeah, man. Hopefully we can get you back on here and do some help. Who knows what we'll be doing? I love.
I'm down. I'm always
Dude,
down. And
I love that you're into the true crime and the pop culture stuff, because I mean that's a fucking awesome. That's a cool mix.
Thank you so much. And I'm trying to think what I can plug right now for people to watch on my YouTube. I don't know. I have a lot.
You're always
of stuff
doing stuff though.
I am, but nobody watches it.
Dude, I've been looking at your numbers though. You're about to hit 10K. That's awesome. That's happened pretty quick.
It's funny. So the subs are growing, but the views aren't, and I don't understand how this works.
You had a really big Diddy one. I remember that. You had a big Diddy live. That got some numbers.
That was probably months ago.
It was,
dude. Froze my butt off at Mangione's hearing. I risked my life. Okay,
I will. You 100% risked your life. That first one is an Antifa anarchist that is going to burn. She has people in her fucking basement. That first lady on the video, holy crap!
There is just
Jesus Christ, the one that was just blunt about they should be more murdered CEOs, like, and you were just like, what the fuck?
But my favorite was the woman who was like, a bug did it. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she's like, yes, the Egyptian scarab did it. I'm like, okay, thank you so much.
Dude, that lady was crazy. Yeah, you're like, what does this, where's the fin of, and she's like, huh?
I know.
So, you don't know about the beetle? You don't know about the Egyptian beetle and the Egyptian that...
They were like double masked out, not to be, but like
dude,
double masked outside, right? 5 years later, so basically it just kind of was.
You know what you're getting into if you're approaching people that are wearing 18 masks.
Well, I'm saying you're boycotting like healthcare, right? And big pharma, basically, but you're double masking because someone told you to. Dr. Fauci and these companies told you to 5 years ago, but you're out there boycotting that. Yeah, it was.
No, I'm with you. It's like, the hypocrisy is mind-numbing with people. Yeah. Well, what's this? Hold on. Okay, so Kath's trying to help you out. Plug 10 a.m. with Jarrett.
Yeah, thank you. So also, Jarrett and I do a show every week, Primetime Crime. We usually do it between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m. on Wednesdays. Sometimes we change it up. We kind of leave it casual. So you can check my Twitter because I'll usually post the night before on Tuesday night when we're gonna go live, and it's usually coffee and crime, and Jared just keeps me in check so I don't say anything too crazy, which was funny. The other night we were on Court TV together and he was laughing at me because he can't help it because I'm just sometimes I'm like, I have to always add in my opinion because I'm so scared of being sued for I'm not scared.
I got you. Yeah. Always end it with that or allegedly or something. I feel you, man. Like
I know. Yeah.
And in the description below, your link should be down there. Make sure you're following her. But nah, dude, you just got to keep plugging along. Like, it's fucking hard as shit. Like, it's so hard. Like, but yeah, you're doing an awesome job. I think you're killing it, man.
Thanks, Steve. Well, I'm so lucky to call you a friend, and I thank you for having me on your channel. It's always so much fun. You're so fun, and you're just an awesome
dude.
guy.
These have been great, man. Like, yeah, you're super easy to just hang with and talk to. So, yeah, man, we'll be definitely doing some more lives. And, yeah, everybody, thank you all so much. The next time you will see me will be probably Tuesday night for Murder Church. We'll be doing something. I'm not exactly sure what, but come through 8 p.m. Eastern time. And, yeah, unless, something happens. I randomly will go live on a different day, so you never know. The world is insane. But, yeah, have a great rest of your night, Lauren, and you folks out there in the Buzz Nation, you as well. And let's kick this week's ass. Let's go.
Thanks, Steve. Bye, guys.
Pittsburgh.